Welcome to Dirt Sociable. I'm Alec Hoffman.
David Deschamps back for another episode. We survived.
Yep. So what do we call this one? 1.5, since we kind of said we weren't going to do another episode until after Wheatland, but here we are 1 week later recording another.
Yeah, I guess apparently got someone else hooked on podcasting. I was already there, like 230 some episodes into my other podcast. Like, I'm already hooked, so apparently you want to join the fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Saturday night. There's bourbon to be drunk, so we might as well drink some bourbon and talk about racing.
Might as well. I mean, what is it, midnight at this point?
I don't keep track of time.
I think that someone once said, all good things happen after midnight. Maybe that was at a racetrack. I heard that.
Yeah, I think it's all bad things happen after midnight, or nothing good happens after midnight.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, after midnight at the racetrack, things happen. It's fun.
Yeah. So today I think we're going to talk about mainly top 5 greatest. So I really want to start out by defining greatest and best, because I think there's a big difference there, and I want to make sure I put out the definition. So I'm actually going to read off a script here to make sure I say it word for word. So best implies a high quality of standards, or high quality or standard in a specific context. What is greatest?
Greatest indicates a level of excellence that is exponential and enduring, often implying a lasting impact or legacy.
So I'd like to talk about the greatest then, in that context. Let's formulate our top 5 list off of the greatest.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Maybe we'll talk about the best on another episode, but I think the greatest is a good way to start, just because it kind of takes in outside influences like your personal experience and aspects such as that.
Makes sense. I mean, it depends on how you view greatest too. Like, there's greatest on the track, greatest influence on the sport, could be on the track, off the track. Like, there's a lot of ways to look at it.
Yeah. In my list, some people got on there because I weighed personal reasons, and some people got in there because I weighed professionalism and performance. So
I just threw a dart at the wall, and that's how it came up on my list. Just kidding. I did more thought process than that.
You've been throwing a few darts for a few hours then.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Alrighty, so should we start with Pro 2?
Yeah, I think we can go to Pro 2.
Should I start rolling down my list here, since we have not seen each other's list?
Probably. Do
Yeah.
you have, like, notes on these guys? Like,
I got some notes.
awesome.
I think you have more than me, though.
We'll see. I don't know. I didn't write notes down, so.
All right, so let's start.
I just got a bunch of names.
I only got 5.
Oh, yeah, I got 5 names, but it's not like I went down and wrote all their achievements, because I guess I should have.
No, you don't need to write all their achievements. I think that's conversation for the internet to have.
Yeah, and speaking of, like, if anybody wants to go on an adventure, like, documenting short course legacy and history would be a fun adventure.
I like just trying to Google stuff. It's really hit and miss. I mean, some drivers are well documented, some others not. So, but that's something that we're going to be doing throughout this too, is getting some historians in here and documenting that and talking about the legacies.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully if someone wants to take that venture of trying to document the history of off-road in one spot people can go to,
Yeah.
they can reference our podcast, and hopefully we help fill in voids of the years.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but Wikipedia is actually a pretty strong resource for off-road.
That's not where you want to be, but
that's not usually at all where you want to be for research. But
yeah. Let's hit up that Pro 2 class. I think that's where we want to start. You want to start with your 5? I'll go with my 5 after then.
Let's go. I'll do my number 5, then you do your number 5.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. All right. So Pro 2, top 5, number 5. I have Keegan Kincaid.
Really? We're starting off matching? And number 5 of Keegan Kincaid.
Perfect. Then that means we're in agreement.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just like, I think Keegan has done a lot in, especially the challenge races like Pro 2, Pro 4. He's won in the Pro 2 against the Pro Fours as well. Like, so he has multiple wins in that. And not only that, I think what he does off the racetrack as well, like just interacting with the fans and some of the things that he's done to raise money and funds, things like that, I think, and his name and just the gear and people, especially when you go to Crandon, like the amount of Keegan gear you see, especially at Crandon, like I feel his reach in the sport is pretty good, and that's why for greatest, he fell into the greatest category for me.
Yeah, and I think something to note on that is that if he starts doing full-time seasons again, he definitely has aspirations to climb this list, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret when Keegan's dialed in, he's fast, and he's proved it. Like I said, he's taken down Pro 4s with his Pro 2. Like, Keegan can be fast.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, then you do number 4 then to see if we match again.
Number 4 for me, Bryce Menzies.
Okay, all right, we didn't match on that one. I have number 4 for me is Carl Renazender. Maybe I'm saying his last name wrong too, because Renazender. Yeah, we're gonna go Renazender.
That's how I would pronounce it. I think you're okay. He did not make my Pro 2 list.
Oh, well, don't spoil.
But we will have to see why.
All right, I personally put him on there. I mean, he's been very achieved on the track, and also, I mean, we have a little mini garage basement racing little deal with RC cars, and majority of our cars, we all painted custom bodies. But before we did that, the majority of our cars were his car. So
fair enough.
I mean, that he's got a good impact on that.
I'm glad you brought that up because as a joke, I almost brought my trophy that I won from our little off-road racing, and I almost stuck my trophy next to me.
Jeez.
Just to rub that one in a little bit.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple trophies too.
From this year?
No, past years. Years.
When I wasn't there, got it.
Okay, yeah, whatever you say. All right, well, then number 3, I suppose, is on me. So number 3 for Pro 2, Jeremy McGrath.
That is not my number 3.
Oh.
My number 3 is CJ Greaves.
All right.
And that's still in the vein of kind of when I talked about Keegan, and CJ also has taken his Pro 2, and he's run double duty multiple years, and he decided to take his Pro 2 out a couple times instead of the Pro 4, at least once I can think of, one in the Pro 2. So I think just his overall career, and he's multi-time championship, and obviously I'll probably talk about him again, but his legacy lives outside of the track too.
Yeah. He's been, I think, this is probably digging into more than we bargained to chew off here, but for CJ Greaves, I think he is becoming very well known outside the track for the good things he's doing. One thing I can even note is that he is kind of like paving the way with podcasting as well and off-road, that, you know, we had these aspirations, but it definitely helped that somebody with a big name came on and started doing podcasting about off-road to give us kind of a pathway to work with as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and we'll talk about it more, the Pro 4s obviously, but when you're thinking about short course racing, the first name that hits most common fans is probably Greaves, whether it's Johnny, CJ, just that last name carries. Obviously, there's a family legacy there too, but CJ has done enough to make that name stand out for himself.
Yeah. I would like to, something in the future, I'd like to math up all the wins between all the Greaves.
They're up there. I mean, I feel that one you probably can find.
Yeah.
Out of all short course drivers, I think the history of the Greaves, maybe Johnny Greaves a little further back might be tougher to find, but I feel like there's a good history. And I mean, CJ just became the most wins in a Pro 4, I believe it was, or something this past season. I forget the exact. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he just passed something from a win standpoint this past season.
Yeah, I don't know the stat for sure on it, so we will have to double check into that. But alrighty, so should we move on to number 2?
Yeah, number 2 in the Pro 2.
You break the ice.
I am going Scott Taylor.
Well, we finally match again. So why did you specifically kind of choose Scott Taylor?
Yeah, I just think this one for me is just if you go back, I think he was what 5 or 6. I would have to grab my notes. I don't have them written out. That's on me. But I think he was a very successful driver, consecutive champion. Yeah, that's why I went with him.
Yeah, he's been an entrepreneur, or I keep on saying makes a path, or he's one that's built this sport to an essence. Like, he was there in the earlier days, so that's why he definitely falls on my list. And he has a ton of wins, and that's why he falls on my number 2.
Yeah, makes sense. I think it's up to you then. Number 1.
All right, number 1, Rob Mack.
Yep, same here.
I
I
think
feel
that was
like
almost
it's
easy.
yeah. I feel like especially Pro 2, like Rob Mack, McCackeren up there makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So here's a little extra research I did, and it's going to catch some hate.
They allow you to do research?
Yeah. The Google machine works good, but this is going to catch some hate. So I'm prepared for it. I'm ready for it, and I'm excited for it. So I used good old ChatGPT and asked them, or whoever ChatGPT is, which is essentially just
It's AI.
it's basically just a big Google searching machine. But I had them make their top 5 list.
Okay. I'm excited to hear this because it's based off of large language models, so it's picking up, and we know the research and the history in Google and whatever else is terrible. So I'm all right. Go for it.
Yeah, this is totally an experiment. So number 1, we'll go number 5, just like we did.
Yep.
Bryce Menzies.
Okay. Who's both on he's on my list.
He's on your list, yeah. Carl Rennesener. So they agreed with.
He's on your list. Yep.
Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. You didn't have him. That's true. Jeremy McGrath.
Okay.
Brian Deegan.
All right. I both those names I looked at, but they didn't make my list.
Yeah. I've got an opinion about Brian Deegan that is just. I've been watching a lot of the older tapes, and my God, it is entertaining.
For me, Deegan's more, on the bike versus short course.
Yeah, I agree too. But he was certainly an entertaining figure.
He brought himself from, the bike scene to off-road racing, and he definitely brought his character with him.
Oh yeah, his character, all bit of it came.
Yep.
So then number 1, Rob Mack. So it was
not terrible.
It was fairly agreeant.
Better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
At least pick people that drove that we know name. Like, I expected to pick like an off-the-wall driver that you would be like, whoa, really? Did he really do it?
Well, I think a lot of this has to do with talking about how things are not documented significantly well. Clearly, this is just going to go off of what is on the internet. So if you can't find information on the internet, such as Scott Taylor, he's in the Off-Road Hall of Fame, but other than those little snippets, there's not a lot of information to go off of. So that's probably why that came up with that.
Yeah, I relied heavily on like names I remembered from when I was a kid, and so if there's people that were in it a while ago that there isn't a lot of history, they didn't make my list because, well, I didn't personally see them race, and 2, it was harder to research them, so I don't know a ton about them.
Yep. All right, Pro 4.
Yeah, Pro 4. I'm excited for this. I'm sure our lists are going to be pretty similar.
Yeah, as you're peeking over like you're cheating on a math test.
Oh, hold on. Let me change my list, guys.
All right, well, I started us off last time, so.
Yeah, so Pro 4 at the 5 spot. Carl Rennesener for me.
All righty.
I told you he was going to make his way on my list somewhere.
Yeah, well, he didn't make it on the Pro 4 list for me. Number 5, Ricky Johnson made it on the Pro list for me.
Okay.
So, number 4, I got Kyle LeDuc.
Yep, number 4 is Kyle LeDuc for me.
Awesome, that's another check mark on my list. So what do you got for number 3?
So at number 3, this is my repeat. I got CJ Greaves, and it's not just for what he's done in the Pro 4, but also I didn't get to talk about it in the Pro 2. I think, I'll talk about when I get to my number 1, but it's just what they do off the track as well. Like they help the other drivers. They innovate, and they have made the classes what they are. They're always pushing the envelope, especially CJ. He's driven other vehicles as well, and they build vehicles for other drivers. Like there's a lot of that goes into, I think, being quote unquote the greatest.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. Alrighty. I have for number 3, not CJ. I have Rob Mack.
Okay, fair enough. I considered him in Pro 4. I put him in Pro 2. I was trying not to cross over a ton.
Yeah.
So
Something really challenging, and I was talking to other people about this, was that a lot of these guys cross over, and it's really hard to try to depict what they did when they're in Pro 2 and what they did when they're Pro 4 to try to figure out the off-track stuff. And obviously you can look up the records, but like the off-track stuff, the impact that they had in that particular class when they cross over like that is challenging.
yeah, and I think the tough part too is not only that, but some of these guys race those classes at the same time. For example, you take like a CJ, he raced Pro 2, Pro 4 at the same time for many years. So like you have that playing in, and I'll talk about why some of these guys are on this list as well, but let's continue down our list here.
So number 2.
Is me first this time.
Oh, you want to go first? Okay.
No, I'll go first for number 1. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yep, go ahead.
You sure? I think we're going to match for number 1, but
Yeah, probably.
okay. So number 2, I have Walker Evans.
Fair enough. He was on the fringe, probably just peaking into 5. He ended up 6 in my head on my list. No, I could only go to 5. But number 2, you already mentioned this driver, but I went Ricky Johnson at 2.
Alrighty.
And I think for me, his legacy's still being carried on. He's obviously still involved in the racing scene and other aspects. And I think just the battles he had in the Pro 4 and multi-time champion
Yeah.
made it up there.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty.
Alrighty, number 1, Pro 4, greatest all time, Johnny Greaves.
I agree. 100% Johnny Greaves.
I mean, you even got the colors going with you, the black and green setup over there to match the monster.
Yep. That was not intentional, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you can say. Like, he's like the legend of off-road racing. And I kind of, when I talked about it, I said the Greaves name. But if you're talking about Greaves, like the first thing that comes to people's mind, Johnny Greaves, Pro 4, one of the baddest of all time to do it. Like, just always puts the pedal down. Yeah. And if something crazy is going to happen in Pro 4, Johnny Greaves is probably involved in it.
Yeah, and off track, just like you were talking with CJ. Obviously, that was passed down from Johnny, so they have that same mentality and same operation going on off track, helping everybody out, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, like, even for me, thinking back to some of my earliest memories that involved Johnny Greaves, or Johnny Greaves winning, Johnny Greaves crashing terrible. Like, something like that, just like Johnny Greaves. You think about Johnny Greaves, he's always involved in, like, even as he's getting up there, and he's still able to wield the machine, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So what is your first memory, recollection of Johnny Greaves for year-wise or event?
I don't know. It had to be Grandin. I think, I don't know if this is like my first one, but there's got to be, all I remember, I think it was Johnny Greaves, and like this is where my memory goes like fuzzy. I think it's coming out of turn 1. I think he cased it one time.
Well, he's cased it multiple times.
Yeah, and I just was he the one that ended up, and see, this from my memory isn't the best, but I think he cased it like to the sign once.
Yeah, there used to be a pond there too, And I believe he's gotten pretty close to taking a dip in the pond.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's I think my first Johnny Greaves thing. I also remember him winning the Crandon Cup once when I was younger. I don't remember the year. My year's kind of all fuzzy.
So I got a stat sheet here. So I think we should read it off to give a little homage here or whatever. So 1992, he won in Class 1 and Class 9 for championship. So a double duty, double championships. 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, he won in Class 7. Okay? So champion from 94 to 97. Then he goes into a pro light at 98, wins that championship. And then takes and goes into a pro 4, and he wins his first championship in the pro 4 2002, then 2005, then 2006, and then under a different series, because we tend to change names from time to time.
Never.
2007 wins Pro 4. And then we change names again. In 2010 he wins Pro 4, 2013, and 2014. Along with Red Bull, the Crandon Red Bull Cup, 2004 and 2007. And then the Chairman's Cup, which is on the spring run, that is, he has captured that in 2003, 2006, 2013, 2015, 2017, 2018. And then I know he's done King of Hammers. I don't know if I know there's no podiums there, but still did pretty darn good for some Midwest guys out in the desert rocks. He's also done some road course stuff. Don't have stats on that, but still to be a versatile driver such as that definitely makes it.
Last points championship. What year was that, you said?
2014.
2014.
So he's going on almost 10 years. But I will say...
It's over 10 years, but yeah.
Over 10 years. I reached out to him to confirm these. And unfortunately, I reached out probably a little too late. He's probably still on the boat fishing. But speaking again of how things are not super well recorded online, they might have fallen off. But I was looking back and I couldn't find anything more than 2014.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that.
But CJ also has, I think he's on 7 now too.
Yeah, which that aligns, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just crazy how that time has changed. And I wouldn't have expected that time gap, but that makes sense. Recent years, CJ's been up on the top, and I still think that when you think Pro 4, it's Johnny Greaves 1, and I think we're both in agreement. So
yeah, I don't think many people are going to disagree.
No, probably not.
It's going to be pretty hard to disagree with that. So the real question is, when is he going to retire?
Never. No, I'm sure there'll be a retirement day for Johnny at some point, but
yeah,
I think at this point, as long as he still can keep wheeling that thing and be somewhat competitive, I think just being competitive on the track, that's in their blood, and it's going to be tough to get Johnny Greaves not in a truck. And I think as long as he stays competitive and he can go out there, I think we see Johnny Greaves at least a couple more seasons.
Yeah, and I think I've seen an interview with him saying something to that extent, as long as I'm not kicking up the back dust and I'm having fun, I'm going to keep on doing it.
Yeah, I think you talk to most drivers, that's the important part, right? You're having fun. If you aren't having fun racing, probably shouldn't do it because you ain't doing it for the money. So if you ain't doing it for fun, well, you're kind of out of luck.
Correct, yeah. All right, so do you want to hear the Chat GPT?
Yes.
On Pro 4?
Yeah, I was waiting for this. I think this is going to be bad.
All right, it's not, All right, Chat GPT coming in strong. Number 5, Carl Renner's. So then that scopes with you.
Yep, that matches.
Okay, and then number 4, Ricky Johnson,
Okay.
which that was my number 5, so not too far off.
He was on my list, so.
Yeah. Number 3, Kyle LeDuc.
All right, on my list.
Number 2, Johnny Graves.
Ooh. Okay.
Number 1, Rob Mack.
Ooh, no CJ.
No CJ. So I have, first I want to say for Pro 4, I think there's some honorable mentions to make. I think we've already kind of covered some of them, but I think honorable mentions that didn't make my list were R.J. Anderson, Bryce Menzies, Rick Huseman, and C.J. Greaves.
Makes sense.
And
I think, too, even if you go further back, like, I think there's some nods to the originals probably, like the Flannerys and things like that. They definitely paved the way to where we are today. And obviously there's other drivers that, started it all and have been doing it for years and years and generations of drivers. And I don't have them on my list, but I think there is probably a whole long list of people that you should give a nod to that at least got us to the off-road piece, started building the backbone of what we have today.
yeah, and when I was building my list, I know that I want to talk about the legends, but I wanted to put in an aspect of 10 to 15 years from today's date. And then, because that's kind of like my prime. 15 is stretching it from, I was pretty much a full-on spectator for that last 5 years. But, and I wanted to put it into perspective from my generation. So I think it's going to be really interesting. We're going to post this up, and I think a lot of older generations hopefully will chime in. I think some people from our generation that maybe were at the track longer and more involved will chime in. Oh. And everybody's going to have a nice, different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, too, like some of the other early things and like drivers that probably aren't some honorable mention, like a Scott Douglas. Like, I remember going out to Redbud and like he was just hanging out watching the races, and me and my dad were talking to him. I was pretty, like, at that stage, I was a very like spectator and just going for fun, and like didn't know I knew enough about off-road but not a ton. So like that interaction, like he just interacted with me. My dad asked us where we were from and like was talking, and like I remember that interaction, and he's probably an honorable mention on here as well.
Yeah.
And so things like that, I think that you're going to see a lot of people hopefully weighing in that have, like you said, a lot more involved when they were younger. They might remember drivers and had certain experiences that influenced their list a little bit.
Definitely. It'll certainly be interesting. So if you have an opinion, post it up. Let us know. Harass us a little bit. Let's get the conversation going. We still got, let me find out the exact day from recording, 32 days yet until we go to Wheatland. So give us something to talk about so we don't have to make another half episode.
Oh, I'm sure we will be here in a couple weeks talking. It's going to be like, Alex going to hit me up and go, I think we need to talk about off-road racing. You want to do another podcast before the start of the season? And I'll be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And we're almost done with this Weller. So we got to open up a new bottle. And if we open up a new bottle, we're going to talk about off-road.
Yeah, I guess that'll be the thing.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the views and the likes and just taking your time to watch us on the first episode. Hope you enjoyed first episode and many more to come. I'm Alec Hoffman signing off.
Yeah, and I just also echo that as well. Thanks for, tuning in, listening. Love the feedback. I've got multiple people reach out to me, provide feedback, talk about how much they enjoyed the podcast, and we appreciate everybody listening. And David signing off.
We gotta go big or go home. We're down to the gold. Never been a better time.